Yeah, hi team. So I think we can go and start the session. Meantime, if others are available, they can join the session. Let me share my screen. So yesterday we have seen that okay, how we can go and create the files and all right. So today what we'll do, we'll go and see that okay, how we can go and write the file in case if you have to write, right? So we can come here. So read file we have seen yesterday. Now today we'll see that okay, we wanted to write the file, right? So how we can go and write the file? So let us come here. We can go and create a file, application, OIC, FTP, write file. So first we'll do with structure only, or we can do without structure. And we'll go and put into our package and create. So we can start with that not FTP connection. Just trigger connection. We can just start, continue. So we will go and make as a post method. And as of now, right, we don't know what is our request and response. So we'll just go and define. So you can say continue. So we can go and write here curly braces. So we can say here source file source directory target file and target directory. Continue, continue. And in the response, right, what we'll do it, we'll get that one success message or one message we'll get. So this is the default things we'll get. Continue, continue, and finish. Now we can say save. We can go and define the business identifier. So source file we can go and put as a business identifier along with the source directory. And we can say save. Now what we wanted to do, right? We wanted to write the file, right? Without a structure, right? So without a structure in the sense, right? We don't know, right? What is that our file look like, right? So what we do, we can come here and we can use that FTP connection first. So in this one, I can mention, right? FTP file, right? We are writing the file to the FTP, right? We can say continue, continue. And what we do, right? We can say write file here, right? So when we do the write file again, what type of file it will be, right? So here we can go and mention the file directory and pattern here we can go and mention, right? So what we do right here, we can say slash Oracle, and here in the file name pattern, if you see that example, right, If you wanted to create unique always, right? So what we do, right? We can write percentage sequence percentage. So what it will do, right? It will go and create the files like incrementally. So what we do, right? We can say test percentage sequence dot csv, right? CSV file we wanted to do, right? Then do we want it to append to the existing file or we want it to create, right? So we'll select the no options by default. We can say continue, and then it will say that, okay, do we have the structure of the file or no, right? So we don't have the structure, right? So we can say no, right? We don't have the structure of the file. So we can say continue and finish. Now we can go and save. Now what will happen right here? We have the right file here, right? So in this one, right, if I wanted to write that file, right, I need that file reference. So if you see, if you come into the mapper, right, what will happen, right? We will get that ICS file. So it means somehow we need the file reference, right, to write the file. So from where we can get that reference, right? Either we can go and download the file, right? Or we can read that file, right? So two things we can go and do, right? So we can come here. So before to that one, right, we have to read that file, right? If in case if you wanted to write that file, right, what we do, we can come here. We'll use that FTP operation again. And what we do, right, we can say here, read FTP file. We can say continue. So here what we do, right, we wanted to read the file, right? So we have done read file. We can say continue. So if you said we are writing the file without a structure, right? So whatever activity, if we are writing without a structure, right? So here also we have to use the without structure only, right? Because then only it will go and generate the file reference. If suppose I will use with structure, right? What will happen? Here I will have the structure, right? So I will not get the reference. I will get that actual content of the file, right? Then I cannot go and write that file, right? So what we do, right? Here we will say that, okay, we wanted to write the file, right? Without a structure. We can say continue and finish. Now we can go and do the save. Now first we can go and do the mapping here, that, okay, from where the file we go and read, right? So we need to map these two things, file name and directory. So we can come here. So source file name is going to be the file name and source directory is going to be the directory. We can go and do the validate. Now we can come back again and save, right? Now for the right file, right, we wanted to do the mapping, right? So we can come here. And what we do, right, in the ICS file, right, we have to go and put the reference. So where we will get the reference, read file response. So we can come here. If you see here, we will get that ICS file. So we can go and map this file reference to the file reference. We can go and do the validate. So we are able to map the file reference here, right? Now what we do, right, we can come again here and we can say save. So in the final, right, we can see that, okay, what we'll get from the right response. So we can go and do the mapping of that one. Response wrapper. So we will have this one. So here in the right file response, right, what all things we'll have, we can come here. So we will have file name, directory and status, right? So status we can go and map with the status, and in the message, right, we can go and put this, right, file name and directory, right? So we can go and create here, create target node, and here we can say concat message will do concat we can write file is written successfully. Then we wanted to print the file name, right? That which file, right? So we can say file name, right? So after this one, I wanted to print the file name. So we can go and take the file name and where the file name got printed, right? So we can say file name. Then we can write here something separator. We can say add directory, right? validate. So we have done this one, right? Now we can go and do the validate. And we can come back again here. And we can go and do the save. Right? So we are able to save here. Now what we can go and do right here, we can come again. And now let us go and see the activate. And we'll see whether it is going to be written any file or not, right? So now if you notice one thing, right, we have not given that exact any location, right? So we can come here one more time. When we are writing the file, right, what we have mapped, right, we have mapped the file reference, right? But where it is going to be written and all, right, so that we have not mentioned right here. This is going to be the properties of the file. So I think we here only we have to go and mention that path. Okay, first let us go and give that exact path, and then we'll see we go in dynamic. So we can say copy path, and in this location, right, we wanted to write. So we can specify this path here, continue, finish, and save. Now we can go and activate. Now run the page. So we can come here. So in the source directory, we can say source. And what all files we will have, we can go and check in the source folder. So we have test.csv, right? So this file only we wanted to write, test.csv. Now we can say run. So if you see, right, file is written successfully. File name is test1.csv. And what is the directory, right? So this is the directory, right? Target directory. Now if we come here, right, into the target. So if you see, right, here the file is still there, right? So we are not moving, right? We are reading file and then we are writing, right? If I will come right here, one file got created, right? So the number of times I will write this one, right? So each time, right, what will happen? New file it is going to be created. So if you say here, so test2.csv, right? If I will come back again here, so test2.csv, right? So this is how like the files it is going to be written. Now if you see it, these files are going to be same, right? What we have in the target in the source file, right? So if I will go and open, so see it is the same file what we have, right? It's not like the different text what we have. Whatever we have into the test.csv, right? Same content we have here, right? So that is how we can go and write the file without structure, right? That means we can read the file and then we can go and write, right? So if I will go and now we can see that, okay, can we go and do the mapping of the directory here? Deactivate. So in this write file, I will say we wanted to map directly to the our request. So we can say we can map to the target directory here. And target file we can map with the file name. We can go and do the validate. Come back, save. Now we can come back and activate this one. Now we can go and run the integration. So now what we need to do, right? From this source we wanted to read, and what we do, right, in the target we can go. So for example, first I wanted to read in the same path, right? Or maybe like I wanted to put into the outside only, right? In the trainer, just to test it out, right? and here I will put the pattern test. We can say right percentage sequence dot csv. Now let us go and run. So the file got written at the target location only. So it means like whatever we have done mapping, right? So it will not go and take those parameters as a for writing purpose. It will take whatever we have configured in that one, right? So it will go and take there only. So it's not going to be the dynamic. Whatever the parameter will do in the mapper, right? So there only it will go and take. So this is how we know, right? Okay, how we can go and write the file without a structure, right? But what will happen in the case of with a structure, right? So in the case of with the structure, right, we know, right, that okay, how our input looks like, right? So based on that one, right, we can go and do. So that time, either we can read the file with the structure and we can share it, or so for example, right, we can go and pass our input payload also, and based on that also, right, we can go and do. So first we'll come
Prashant,
here.
is it taking precedence like what you have given in the, I mean, dynamically what you are passing, right? It is not considered the target file name.
The target file, it won't be considered because the position, right, we have to give in the map, like here only.
Is
So
it
if
a
I will come
mandatory
here,
field there?
yeah, it is a mandatory thing here. So if you come here, so whatever we will give path here, right? So here, so these two things are the mandatory here. So whatever we'll give here, so it will go and take that only. Otherwise, if you say it for the testing purpose, what we have done, right? We have mapped here, right? So here we have mapped the target directory and all, but it is not taking those values, right? All right, yeah, okay. I think we have did at the wrong place. Sorry, we have to do it at the header level. It's not enabled. We have to deactivate first. So these things we don't need, so we can delete everything. So delete target nodes. And now what we do, right? We'll go and map. Instead of file, we'll map this one. So target directory, and let us try from here if it is work or not. Save. And activate. Now we can go and run this one. This is the same thing we will do it. Now let us see if it works or not. Test, run. So if you see, right, now it is working, right? So if you see write one.csv and where it is done, it is outside the folder, right? If you see, right, if I now I'm into the target, right? So in the target, right, it is not creating any new files. But where it got created the new file, it got created here, right? So if I will do the refresh, see write one.csv, right? It means like we can give the dynamic. So where we need to put, right? So we need to put that at the header level. Right? This is how we can go and put this one without a structure. Now we'll see what we can do with a structure. So we can make a clone of this only. We can say write file with a structure. Clone. Now, right, what is the first thing we need to modify, right? We need to modify the write file right here. So we can come here and we can modify this one. That okay, we wanted to write the file, but with structure, right? So we can say we wanted to write the file with a structure. So when we say with a structure we wanted to write, so we need to go and specify the structure of the file. So we can say next, and what we do, right, we'll go and take this file. So this is the file, right, which we need, right? We can come here and drag and drop that one. We can say record name and record set. So we can say employee and all employees. In this one, we can make one as a mandatory. So name we can go and make as a mandatory. We can say continue and finish. So we have modified this one, right? Now we can go and save. So what will happen, right? Our mapper will go and have error, right? Because whatever the previous things which was there, right? ICS file and all, right? So if you say it will go and start showing into the red color, right? That okay, now we don't have any such ICS file and all, right? What we do, right? We can come here and we can delete this one, right? Now we can do validate. So if you see now it is a validated. But if you see it now, right? It is not asking for the file reference. What it is asking about the actual content of the file, right? So what we do, right? We have to read that file with the actual content, right? Because as of now, our read file also, right? It is having the file reference, right? So we cannot go and use the ICS file with this one, right? So what we do, we can come here, save. So one thing what we do, right? If suppose we are reading the file without a structure, right? Here in between, right? We can do the staging with the help of stage, right? We can go and write the file with a structure and then we can do, right? So that is the one way, right? Another way is like we can go and modify directly here. So what I will do, right? Let me come here, write file with a structure. I will make a clone of this also. So we can say with a structure, write file. We wanted to use the stage activity also in between, right? So we can go and make a clone. So first, right, we'll go and modify that old one only. Directly we'll go and modify right here. That okay, write file we are doing. So read we will do with the structure. So we can come here, continue, and we can say we will read the file with a structure. So when we read the structure, right, so that time we need to go and put the CSV file again, right? That okay, how our file will look like. So we can come here and we can say here, same file test.csv. Then we can go and make columns optional. We can go and make this as a mandatory. Here we can give record name. So we can say employee and all employee. Continue and finish. We can go into the save. So there is no change in this one, right? Because we are reading, right? So only the change will happen into this mapper. So we can come here. So in the all employees and employees, we have to go and put the informations. So we can come here, read file FTP response, read file response. And if you see, right, it will come like all employees. And within that one, right, we will get the list of employees. Now we can go and map the name to name and job to job. And we can say all employees to all employees. Now we can go and do the validate. Now we can come back again here and we can go, we can say save. So this is what we modified, right? Now we can go and activate this one. We can go and run again. So same parameters we need to give right here. So what I can do, right? I can come here and whatever the files we don't need, right? We can go and delete those things now. So I will go and use the target only for writing. I will go and delete these files. Right, so as of now, if you see it, there's no sequence, nothing right here. Now let us come here. We can go and copy the path. So read is going to be always still same. From the source directory, we will read the file. And file is going to be test.csv. Target directory is going to be the target folder. And what we do, right? We can say write. We can say read percentage sequence percentage dot csv. Right? Now let us go and run the file. What will happen? So if you see file got written, right? Write read one, right? We can go and check here. So we are able to write the file, right? It means the file is working, right? Whatever we wanted to write, right? So that is working fine. We can go and run again. So write read 2.csv. We can come again. We can check that, okay, we are able to write the file, right, with the structure. So it means it is working fine. Now what will happen, right? We can go and we can see that other integration, right? That, okay, we will read the file with a structure, like without a structure, but then with the help of staging operation, right, we can go and do that changes. So this is what we have, right? We can come here. Now what will happen, right? Here, if you see, right, what is that output we will have, right? We will have the output as a file reference here. So if you come back here, right, here we have the file reference, right? So we don't have the content of the file. What we have, right? We have the reference of the file. So we can come here, and what we do, right? We can go and use the staging activity here. So we can say here stage, and we can say stage file. Now what we do, right? We can say stage write. We can say continue. So what we wanted to do, right? Do we wanted to read that whole file or what we want, right? So we wanted to read that file, right? Whatever the file reference we have, right? We wanted to read that one, right? So I think we can say go back. We can write this stage file. We can say continue. So we have the file reference, right? So we can say yes, we have the reference. So what we do right here, we can go and map the reference. So from the read file FTP file, right? We'll get the reference and file reference, we can say. Now we can say continue. And here we'll say that, okay, yes, we wanted to specify the structure. We can say continue. We can go and place this file now here. Employee, all employee. We can make this as optional. Continue and finish. We can go and do the save. So what is happening now, right? We are reading the file without a structure. Then in this stage, right, in the runtime, we are reading the file, and then right while writing. Now what will happen, right? Instead of read operation, right, we will use this stage file activity, because in this stage, right, we will have the actual content of the file with us, right? So if you see right here, we will have the actual content of the file. So now we can go and map that one here. So name to name we can go and map, and job to job we can go map. Then we can say all employees to the employees. So we are done this one. We can say validate. Now we can come back again and we can do the save. Now let us go and test it out. So this got refresh. Now let us go and run. So I can come to the body again. So source directory, source, target directory is going to be this one. Source file is going to be test.csv. Target file name, right? So we can say here write the read page, right? So we can say and we can write percentage sequence dot CSV. Now we can say run. So if you see, right, file got written, right? Now we can go and check into our folder. You can say refresh again, right? So if you see, right, it is working fine, right? We are able to write the file, right? Read stage1.csv, right? So this is how we can go and write the files. So in this case, right, we are reading the without a structure, right? But in between we have done the staging activity, right? So now it is completely up to your requirement that okay, how you wanted to deal with the file, right? So we have the different ways, right? So we are seeing all possible ways. Now what will happen, right? We'll see the last scenario for the writing file is like suppose we don't have the read file and anything, right? We'll get the content from somewhere, right? So for example, from the input only, right? We'll go and pass that payload, right? And from that one,
Prashant,
right? Can we, yeah, please.
sorry to disturb you. So
No,
we
no,
have
please.
set one field as mandatory, right? Can you
Right.
remove the name value and try to process the file?
Okay, you are telling that okay, different structure, right?
Yeah, so one field, the name we have put as mandatory, right? So in the test.csv file, can you remove the one name
Okay, so
value? Yeah, comma
you
you
are
can,
telling that
yeah,
okay, maybe we can say a name 123, right?
yeah, the
Right? Like
actual
we have
value
changed the.
itself I'm asking. Yeah,
You are asking about the value.
yeah, value.
Okay, okay. So for example, you are asking left file like this one, right?
Yeah, one it can have, one record can have, one record. So will it still process or will it fail?
Okay, let us see. So we have that file with us. So it's the file what we have. Now let us go and run this one. So same file we are reading, we can say run. So 200, okay. We are not getting any error. So it means like the file it will go and process. It won't make any issues that okay, there will be an issue with that file and all.
Yeah,
If you go to your target directory, we can do refresh. Okay, where is the folder? Right, page 2. So the file will be like this one.
okay. So then what is the need for putting mandatory there?
So mandatory is like, so validation, right? Like it's not kind of a validation, it's like kind of a mandate only that okay, one column, right? Okay, let us go and see if we can go and put the whole table itself a blank, right?
Yeah.
Now we can go and read the file again. So if you see, now we'll get that error. So it means like when you give the empty value, right? It will treat as a value, right? Value is there, right?
Yeah.
In this case, it will go and fail, right? Because you don't have that mandatory column. If you see right here, minimum occurrence 0 not specified, all employee loop terminated, right? So now what we do, right? We told that okay, mandatory, right?
Yeah.
So for example, I will just put one column only here,
Yes.
right? Second will not put, and we'll see what will happen now. So again, we are getting that error. So the error is because of the loop only, I guess. For data ending while trying to read the file for the using style terminated and terminated by but not found. Okay, I think comma we need. Yeah, so it's kind of the file structure. For the file structure it will be. So we need to provide, but like it will not check whether the value is there or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now we'll see the next one that, okay, can we go and pass the value directly from the input, right? And we can do, right? So let us come here. We'll make a clone. We'll say write file input, right? So we'll get the content from the input, right? We'll write the file. We'll go and put into the OIC and clone. Now we can come back here. So what we'll do, right? Now we don't need this read operation, write operation, right? Or because directly we'll get the file from here, right? The content. So first we can go and modify our content. We can come here, continue, and the JSON, right? Whatever we have this JSON, right? So here only we'll go and pass that also. So we'll come here and we'll say that, okay, employees data, right? We'll go and pass from here only. And here we'll have a array. And this array internally will contain the name field. Right? So here only will be that, okay, this array will have that object. Now we can say continue, 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 and finish. So now the content will have from here only, right? And we are writing the file with this structure. So what we do, right? We don't need this one. So we can delete this, all these things. We don't need this mapper also. And we don't need this also. Right? We can do the save. Now what will happen, right? In this mapper, right? Instead of mapping from here, right? What we do, right? We'll go and map from here. So all employees will go and map. And in this one, right? As of now, right? So this is, we don't have as of now, right? So we can delete first, validate. Now what will happen, right? These inputs, right? Or this content will get from the request payload. It will come from the request payload here only. So we can say name to name, job to job, and then parent to parent. We can go and do the validate. We can come back again here and we can do the save. Come again here. And what we'll do, it we'll go and activate and we'll test it out now. So we'll come to the run. So here we will go and define that. We can define our source directory. Then source file it is going to be test. So whether we define or not define it, it won't matter now, right? Because we are not reading the file anywhere, right? So we can go and keep them as a blank only as we are not doing anything. What we need, right, is like we need the target file. So we can say write input and percentage sequence percentage dot CSV, and the target directory will have, and that actual content, right, we will go and pass from here, right? So I will go and pass from here Sam job, we can say HR, right? So first we'll go and pass one record only and we'll see what will happen. Run. So if you see, right, file got written, right? We can come into our folder structure and we can check. So if you see, right, write input.csv, right? If I will go and open into this one, right? So same HR, right? Whatever the content we have put, right? So that is working. Now we can go and pass multiple things right here. For example, I will copy this much as this is array object, right? So we'll go and pass like 4 objects, for example, right? So 4 we are putting. So I can say Sam, HR, I will say Steve. So this is, we can say admin. Then we can say John. We can say IT. We can say David. And this we can say DB, right? So all those things we have provided. Now we can go and run. So write 2.csv. We can come to the folder here, refresh. So write to input 2.csv. I can go and open the file. So whatever the content we have, right? So all those content it came here, right? So this is how we can go and write the file by getting the input data only, right? Now this can be from our input, or suppose if we are using the database operation, right? So from the database, right, we can write the query, we can bring the data and we can go and write the data, right? Because when we get the from database also, right? So like this only we'll get the data, right? So if we need to write that data in the FTP file, right? Into file, right? So we can read the data from the FTP and we can write like this one. So this is how we can go and do the write operation by accepting the input also. Now suppose if same integration we wanted to use without a structure, right? So we can go and use, right? So but in that way, what we have to do, right? We just have to put the staging activity one more. So we can make a clone. We can say write file input and we can write without. So this is the 40 and we can say without a structure we wanted to write. We can put into our package and clone. Fail to integrate with already exist. Okay, so I think identifier name got not changed. So we can say without a structure 40. So as I told right in the beginning, right, this name should be unique always. If this name will not be unique, right, what will happen? We'll start getting error. So if you see right now I made the unique. So now I'm not getting that error. So we can come here. And now what we need to do, right? We will get the file right from here, right? We'll get the content. But here, right, instead of writing the file, right, with the content, right, what we do, right, we wanted to write the file without structure. So we'll do this one, right? That okay. Without a structure, we wanted to write the file. So what we do, right? We can come here. We can do the finish, save, and here, right, before to that one, right, we can write our stage activity, right? So we can do stage file. It means whatever the content will come, right? So that we can go and convert into the stage. So we can say stage. We can say continue. So we can write the file, right? So when we read the file, right, what will happen, right? We will not have the reference, right? So if you see it, we cannot read, right? So now let us go with the write file. So we can write our one sample file right here in this location, like any temporary location. So we can specify the file name as test dot. So in the single quotes, we need to put test page dot csv, and here, right? Okay, why it got changed? clear page.csv, and here we can put the temporary location /temp. We can say continue. Now we wanted to write the file, right? So we can say yes, we wanted to write with this structure. We can say continue. Now here I can go and put the file. Reconnect. We can come here and we can write. We can say employee, all employee. Optional we can make. Now we can say continue and finish. Now what will happen, right? We can go and map, but before to that one, right, we can see whether we'll get that output as a reference or not. So the stage file, right? This is the what we have, right? Stage file response. So we can come here, write response, write response. If you see, right, now we will have the ICS file, right? So now we can go and use this ICS file, right? So we can say delete target node, and we need the here, right, file reference only. So we'll able to get the file reference. It means we can go and achieve this one. We can go into the validate and now come back, and now we can go and do the mapping here. All employees. We can come to the request wrapper, and from here, right, we will get the content, right? So we can say name to name and job to the job we can map, and all employees, right? Now we don't need this anything, right? Because no need to define all these things. So we can say validate. Now we can go into the save. Now we can go back and activate and activate. Now let us go and run this one. So what we need to define, right? So we need the target directory. So this inside thing, right? So we put this one, and in the target directory, right, what we do, right, we can copy the path. In the file name, right, we can say write input stage. Now we can say run. So if you see, right, in the response, our file got created, right? We can go and check file here, right? So if you see, file it is coming, right? So this is how we can go and write the file. So these are the different ways we can go and write the file. So with this one, right, we are able to complete all the scenarios of the writing file, and we are completed that FTP also. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. We can go and take those questions now. Okay. So if no question, then I think we can go and wrap up the session today here only. Tomorrow we'll see the new topic and we'll connect same time. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.